Good day, viewers. Today we want to look at mathematics, and as you can see on the board, the topic before us is bearing and distance. Now, these are the prerequisite knowledge. The prerequisite knowledge for you to understand bearing and distance. These are the knowledge you must have. Number one is trigonometry and trigonometric ratios, sine and cosine rules. Then you must also be well acquainted with SOHCAHTOA. All right, number two, we have the basic triangle knowledge, the basic triangle theorems. That's sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degree. Base angles of an isosceles triangles are equal. The exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of opposite interior angles. So those are the basic triangle knowledge, the basic triangle theorems you must know, you must have, Then three, plane geometry. Under plane geometry, we are going to be talking about alternate angles, corresponding angles, vertically opposite angles, and so on and so forth. Then we have the Pythagoras theorem, a squared equals to b squared plus c squared, the square of the hypotenuse equals to the sum of the square of opposite and that of the what? The adjacent. Okay? Now we dive into bearing in proper bearing. Now when you talk about bearing, you are talking about angles, you are talking about the direction in which an object is going. So for you to talk about bearing, there's no way you will not make mention of your four cardinal points. Basically, we have four cardinal points, although we have many more. Geography students can attest to that. We have many more. But for now, we are going to be looking at the basic four cardinal points. Those will help us to locate our directions, the direction in which an object is headed to. Okay? So what are the basic cardinal points we have? We have the what? The north, we have the east, we have the west, and we have the south. All right, so this is it. Draw a vertical line, then draw a horizontal line so that both of them will meet at an angle 90 degree. Now here is the north, which is N. Here is the south. Here is our west, while here is the east. Okay, this is the four cardinal points, and anytime you want to draw the direction of an object, we always draw the direction, we always draw our angle from the north. From where? From the north, in the clockwise direction. So you will draw from the north, draw from the north in the clockwise direction. And when we say clockwise direction, that's in the direction of the clock. Your clock moves this way. The hand of your clock moves this way. So this clockwise direction, this way. So if here is the north, you are always going to be drawing from here. You draw this way, and this way. Not in the anti-clockwise direction. It is when you are dealing with trigonometry that you draw in the anti-clockwise direction. But when you are dealing with bearing, when you want to draw your angles, you must draw from the north. Your bearing, your angle always starts from the north in the clockwise direction. Now, you must understand the fact that from north to east, we call it first quadrant. That's under bearing. Bear it in mind, under bearing. And from north to east is what? Is angle 90 degree. From here, from this line to this line is what? 90 degree. Then from east to south is also what? 90 degree. From south to west is also what? 90 degree. And from west to north is 90 degree. So that the complete rotation, complete movement from north through east, through south, through west, and then back to the north. That's going to be a complete turn of 360 degrees. Now, for example, if they say the bearing of A is 30 degrees from a point O. So let me assume this is a point O. The point O is going to be the center of this four cardinal points here, the midpoint here, the center here. So they say A travels 30 degrees. 30 degrees. Now, your 30 degrees starting from the north, 30 degrees will fall in between north and what? And east, because from north to east is what? Is 90 degrees. And for your information also, from north to south is what? From north to south is going to be 180. From north to the west, from north, if I draw this way to the west, it's going to be what? This 90 here, 90 here, plus 90 here, that's going to be what? 270, alright? So, when they tell you that the bearing of a particular object is 30 degrees, so 30 degrees falls between north and what? And east. So I'm going to draw from here. Now this, the angle 30 degrees, you now go this way. That's your 30 degrees. You see my arrow here? So this, from this angle you see, this arrow you see here is what? Is 30 degrees. So meaning that object goes in this direction, is along this line. The object that moves 30 degrees from this point is along this line. Are you following? So that object can be here, it can be anywhere on this line. But when they tell you that an object moves at an angle of 80 degrees, 80 degrees is still between north and what? And east. So any number between 0 and 90 degrees will fall between north and what? And east. Alright? But if they tell you that an object moves at an angle 120 degrees, 120 degrees will fall between where? No, 120 is more than 90, right? It's more than 90. 90 is from here to here, from north to east. But it is less than what? 180. So you have to draw from the north again. You draw down. You go beyond east. Then that angle should be in between east and what? And south. So from here to here, 90. Then 90 plus 30 will give you 120. So this is the object moving. So this is how the object is going to move from the north downward this way. So any point on this line is the direction of the object, the point of that object. So the object can lie at any point on this line, along this line. Alright? So this angle is 120 degrees. So guess what? If they ask you to draw an angle of let me say 250 degrees, where do you think that is going to fall? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Or here? 250. 250 is more than what? 180. From north to south is 180. But that 250 is less than what? It's less than 270. So it's going to fall here. Alright? What of 300? 300 is more than 270, but it is less than 360. So 300 is going to fall around here. And so on and so forth. Okay, now let me teach you how to deal with compass bearing. What of compass bearing? There's something called compass bearing. Compass bearing. Compass bearing. Now it is in compass bearing we talk about northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. These are the four compass bearing I'm going to be discussing with us. So your cardinal point again. The cardinal point again. So here's the north. Here's the east. Here's the west, and here's the south. So when you talk about northeast, any angle that is northeast must fall in between north and what? North and east. And that angle must lie between the north and that line. So for example, if they say you should draw an angle 50 degrees northeast. Now northeast is the same as east of north. East of what? of north. When they say northwest, northwest is the same as west of north. Then when they say southeast, southeast is the same thing as east of south. Then guess what southwest is going to be? West of south. So that's correct. So if they ask you to draw 50-degree northeast, now you know 50 degree should be more than half the midpoint of north and what? And east. Midpoint is going to be 45. Since from north to east is 90 degrees. So 50 degrees should be a bit more than 45 degrees. So you will also use your initiative to draw. So this the line now. So that point is along that line. That point that is 50 degree east of north, or 50 degree northeast. And this is the way they are going to write it. Not 50 degree east. So this is the way you are going to write it. So the angle must be in between the north and what? And the line. Not between the line and the east. So please don't put your angle here. So this is where your angle is going to be. This 50 degree east of north, or you call it northeast. What if they say you should draw 30 degree northwest or west of north? So 30 degrees should be less than half of the angle 90 degree. Half of angle 90 degree is going to be 45. So 30 degree northwest or west of north. So you draw the line in between north and what? And west. In between north and west. Then you now put your angle between north and that line, not between the line and the west. So this is your 30 degree west of what? Of north. So this angle here, from here to here. So this time around, you may not follow my direction of moving clockwise, in the clockwise direction. So it depends on which compass bearing you are given. Okay? So you can draw this way, you can draw this way, depending on which angle you are given. What of southwest? Let me say 20 degrees southwest. 20 degrees southwest. 20 degrees must be a very small angle. So it has to be very close to the south. So southwest, in between south and west. So this is going to be 20 degrees southwest, or you call it 20 degrees west of south, and so on and so forth. Then anything southeast is going to fall in between south and east. Draw your line, then the angle between that line and the south, that is your south east. All right, so let me teach you how to interpret bearing. Very important now. Now the problem most students have is that they don't even know how to interpret questions on bearing. They don't know how to interpret questions on bearing. Now, example number one, and some don't even know how to locate bearing. Another problem is that some people don't know how to locate bearing. So example number one. Example one. If the bearing of A from B is 30 degrees, find the bearing of B from A. If the bearing of A from B is 30 degrees, find the bearing of B from A. So the first thing you will draw is your what? Is your cardinal point. Your cardinal point. Anytime you are dealing with bearing, draw cardinal point first. Then put the cardinal point there, the north, the west, the south, and the east. Alright? Now they say if the bearing of A from B is 30 degrees. So I want to ask a question. Who is coming from where? A is coming from where? From B. So you go and start from here, from this letter. That's where you're starting from. You're not starting from A. Where are you starting from? B. So it means B is here. This point B. I don't want to write B on this point. So point B is here. So I have to put my B here so that it will not make my work to be rough. So A is the one that is taking off from B, is the one that is traveling from B. A is the one coming from B. Now, the angle given to you here is the angle with which A is going to take off from where? From B. So your starting point must be at B. So what is 30 degrees? How will you draw that 30 degrees? So you go to this point, put your ruler, move in the clockwise direction. 30 degrees should be an angle smaller than 45. 45 will be directly between north and what? And east. So you go up this way. This A. A is moving along this path. So when you can get anywhere along this line, then you stop. So I will try to stop here. This is where A is. At that point where A is, draw another cardinal point. See the way I'm going to draw a straight line. Can you see? Please watch a vertical line here, then a horizontal line on that point also. You can see. This point here is point what? A. Now, the question says find the bearing of B from A. Sorry, this angle 30 degrees from north to this line. So A goes this way, so this point A. So we have to find the bearing of B from where? From A. Now, the bearing of a point from another point. If they say find the bearing of B from A, you have to go to where now? To A now. So we are coming from A now again. So the question is more or less like saying, what is the angle through which B will move from where? From A. So we have to go to point A. These are north again. Target is the north. So look at the line between both of them. The straight line connecting both of them. So from A now, I will now have to turn according to the direction I gave you. From the north in the clockwise direction. So I move from the north now in the clockwise direction. So we have to draw an angle to that line that is joining A and B together. The straight line connecting them. It must be the straight line connecting them. So you can see that the bearing of A from B is from the north to this line. A goes this way, this point A now. Now the bearing of B from A now. B from A, also from the north, you turn this way, the same line. So B now goes down this way. So this angle is what they are asking for. It's as simple as that. So if you can locate that angle, you should be able to find it. The problem with many students is that they can't even locate the angle they are asked to find when it comes to bearing. Some can even interpret bearing correctly, but when they are asked to find angle, bearing of a point from another point, it becomes a problem. And then if they ask them to find distance, it's very easy. They can apply cosine rule, they can apply sine rule, they can apply Pythagoras theorem and so on and so forth to get distance. But when it comes to bearing, it becomes a serious problem. So from the north now in a clockwise direction to this point, to this line, is the bearing of B now. From where? From A. So meaning B will take off with this angle. From where? From A. So B is going now. It's going this way, in this direction. It's going this way, downward this way. While A will move with this angle and go upward. So what's this angle now? Now we know that from the north to the south is what? 180 degrees. That's 90 plus 90 here. 90 here, 90 here. This east and this west. Now we need this small angle. What is this small angle? So that's why I said we need this topic, alternate angles. That's what we're going to use. Plane geometry. So this angle here is alternate to this. So here is 30 degrees. This 30 degrees is alternate to this 30 degrees. Now we now see the bearing of B from A will be what? 180 plus 30 degrees, which is going to be 210 degrees. You notice that this 210 degree falls in what quadrant? In the third quadrant. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, and this third quadrant, this fourth quadrant. If you know your trigonometry very well. Okay, let me give you one more here. One more example. Example 2. So the bearing of a village C from another village D is 120 degrees. So the question is, what is the bearing of village D from village C? So this time around, where are we starting from again? We're starting from, so who is starting from here? C. C is going to start from D. The angle given to us is the angle with which C will start from where? From A. Okay? Our cardinal point again. Cardinal point, a vertical and horizontal line to cross each other. This north, this east, this west, and this south. Now we are starting from the village D. So village D is on this point. And the bearing of C from D is 120 degrees. So angle 120 degrees before where? Here, 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 or here. It's going to fall here. This 90, 91, 92, 100 to 120. So from here we move again for the north. Don't forget, that's the rule from the north in the clockwise direction. So C is about to take off from D now. So C goes down this way. So C moves this way. So C is around here. Let me shift it up a bit. C is around here. So put your ruler, you can see. On this point here, draw a vertical line. Put your ruler again. On the same point, adjust until you have a perfect point where you can draw your horizontal line. So here, yes, this point is your C. Okay, this north, this east, this west, and here's what? South. So this angle here is 120 degrees. This angle here, turn through for this line to take off, to move. Alright? Now, where's the angle we have to find? The bearing of D from C. So how do I go? This way? No. We are moving from the north in this direction. You go down, then you go up until you get to this line. You stop. So that's the angle. So we are looking for the whole of this angle. Alright? So what do you think this angle is going to be? Now at least you know the angle from the north to what? To the west. That's 270 degrees. Here to here, 90, 90, 90. 90 times 3, that's going to be 270. So we need this angle, this small angle here, from here to here. This is what we need now. So we are going to add it to 270 degrees. Alright? So how do we find this angle? If you can get this angle is alternate to what? To this small angle. This angle here is alternate to this. In fact, there are even different ways of doing that. You can even get this angle also. You can get this angle. From here to here, it's going to be alternate to what? To this angle. Or say 120 is alternate to the whole of here. You can see? So that our answer is going to be 180 plus 120. But let me make this simpler for you. What is angle? Now, since from the north to this line is 120, and from the east to the line is what we are looking for. So that's 120 minus what? Minus 90. That's 30 degrees. So this angle here is 30 degrees. So if here is 30 degrees, right? Okay. What's now going to be here? Here is going to be 30 degrees. So we say that's alternate angles, right? Therefore, the bearing of D from C will be equal to, add this 270 now. 270 plus 30 degrees, which is what? 300 degrees. You know, that angle falls in the fourth quadrant. Greater than 270, but less than 360 degrees. Now, let's move to the next thing very fast because of our time. The next thing. Have you ever seen a question where they say, how far is A? How how far north of A is B? How far east of C is D? How far west of X is Y? And so on and so forth. So let me give you a question on that. Now, those questions, they come based on the fact that positions are relative. You understand what I mean by that? Positions are what? Are relative. Positions on the Earth's surface are relative. And what do I mean by relative? You know, the Earth itself is a sphere, although not a perfect sphere. So any point on this circumference, on this circle like this, is the surface of the Earth. Anybody on this point, on any point here, is said to be on the surface of the Earth. So, for example, look at this point. Look at this point. Look at this point. If I call here A, call here B, call here C. Are you following? Now, for example, now, you know, where A is calling down. If A is looking at B and is calling this point B, is calling it down. Let me do my cardinal point. A is looking here and he say, oh, I'm looking down. And then C is also looking at B. What is the statement C is going to make? C will say, okay, I'm looking up. Isn't it? So you can see that down and up is relative. So it means where you call up is where another person is calling down. Are you following? So, for example, if a point is here, we have a point here, point A, we have another point here, point B, we have another point here, point C. Let me draw a straight line now. Alright? Draw cardinal point, draw cardinal point. This north, this east, this west, this south, this north, this east, this west, this south, this north, this, sorry, that's a mistake, this west, this east, this west, this east, this west, this east, and this what? South. Now watch. This is the east of A, isn't it? This side, to my right hand side here is the east of A. But if you come to B, this side now that you call the east of A becomes where? The west of what? Of B. That's what we call relative. So the side that A is pointing to as its own east is where B is pointing to as its own what? Its own west. And then you also have, now, also the side that B is now pointing to as its own east is where C will be pointing to as its own what? West. Let me assume you now have another point here. Point D. Here is D. Here is the north, here is the east, here is the west, and here is the south. Now, if D looks up, where D is calling north, so the north of D is where A is going to be calling what? South. You can see that all these points are what? They are relative. So this side is, point A is due north of what? Of D. Point B is due what? Relative to A now. Point B is due east of what? Of A, right? While point B relative to C now is directly due what? Due west. Directly. Sorry, I forgot to use that word directly. Directly due west of C. Alright? Now let me also draw a line from B to D. Now, this line is what now? Not what? Northeast. Yes, now northeast of what? Of D. So you can say point B now, relative to D. Point B is due northeast. But we don't know this angle. Maybe this angle is 30 degrees. So we can say 30 degree due northeast of what? Of D. While if you want to look at point D relative to what? To B. Now we're not talking about this angle now. Here too is going to be south what? Southwest. 30 degrees southwest because here is alternate. Sorry. Here is alternate. So yes, 30 degrees south what? Southwest of what? Of B. So we can say point D is 30 degrees southwest of what? Of B. Relative to B now. Now what of relative to C? Let me draw another line from D to C. From D to C. You can see now. This is another angle here. And this angle, definitely it can't be equal to this, to the angle here. To the angle here. It can't be equal or equal to this. They are not the same thing. Because they are not parallel, right? Okay? So this angle here, hello? This point C and this angle is southwest, right? So you can see that point D is also at an angle southwest, due southwest of what? Of C. D is southwest of C. D is also, while C is what? Northeast of D, but with another angle. This is the angle between the north and the line joining D and what? And C. Are you following me? So that is what I have to introduce before the next question. All right? You can pause the video. You can rewind the video so that you can understand what I just taught better. So let's look at this question. Example. From a place 400 meters north of X, that's the example there. A student walks eastward to a place Y, which is 800 meters from X. What is the bearing of X from Y? So you have to be calm in interpreting your problems. Once the interpretation is wrong, everything you are solving is going to be wrong also. Alright? From a place, meaning we are starting from where? From that place, which is what? 400 meters north of X. It means you must know where your X is first. You must know where your X is. Since we are starting from a place 400 meters north of what? Of X. So where is X? Locate any point and call it X. So let me assume here is X. And then draw your cardinal point there. This point X. This north here. This west. This east and this south. So they say from a place 400 meters north of X. That point is not on X, it's 400 meters due what? North. So that's at a distance from X. So from this point here, you draw upward. That's north. This north of X now. And that's 400 what? Meter. So let's assume this is the place now. From here now, from this place. Draw another cardinal point there. This north, this west, this what? East. So they say from this place now, which is 400 meters due north of X, okay? A student walks eastward. So from here, a student now walks eastward. So you draw east towards the east now. It then tells us how long to a place Y. So the place Y must be along this line. So let me draw. I'm seeing something that's why I want to extend this line. I want to produce the line. So a student walks due east from this point. Okay? And that point is what? H is point Y And this point y, that's what, let me stop here. This point y now to a point y, which is 800 meters from x. Point y is 800 meters from x. Now they didn't say here is 800, please. They didn't give us what this distance is. The east of this point y. They didn't give us the distance. But along here, the point y along here is what? Is now 800 from where? From here. So when you get to point y, you have to look at point x. Point y is 800 meters from where? From x. So it means you have to draw a direct line, a straight line from x to what? To y. That's going to be what? You can see the question is a bit trickish. 800 now. So yes, 800 meters. So you have to interpret exactly what is given to you. Don't interpret what you have in your mind. Read and try to understand what they gave to you. So interpret what they have there. Don't interpret something from your own mind. Interpret from what you have in the question. Because some people will go and put 800 here. Now what is the question? We have to find what? The bearing of x from y. Now see now, x from y. The bearing of x from y. So I have to go to point y, draw my cardinal point because I want to find the bearing of x from here. So you can see now vertical line and horizontal line. Now I've told you must be able to locate your angle first before you can find anything. This y. Yes, point y. So who can tell me where's the bearing of x now from y? Where do you go to? You go to point what? Point y. You go to point y. You want to find the bearing of x from y. Meaning, what is the angle with which x will take off? From where? From y. Although this is where y is, but x wants to travel from y to this point. So look at the line between them. This is a straight line between them. So the angle through which x will turn and then move to this place is from where? From the north. So from north now you draw to this what? To this line. The angle between the north and the line. Always bear in mind. Angle between the north and what? And the line joining the 2 points. So the 2 points we are talking about here now is x and y. So this is what we have to find. Many don't even know how to locate it in the first place. So this is where you locate first. This is the angle we are looking for. Alright? So if this is the angle, how do we now get that angle? At least we know from north to south is 180 degree. 180 degree. Then we need this angle from here to here. We need this angle. Then we add it to 180 degree. So how do we get this angle? If you can get this angle, you get here. If you can get this angle, the angle inside the triangle here, and this is a right angle triangle, as you can see, this east, this what? South. South of this point. Alright? So here is 90 degree. Okay? So let me call here theta. Okay? Now, since this is a right angle triangle, this 400 meter now becomes the opposite to theta, while this 800 becomes the what? Hypotenuse. Is the one facing angle 90 degree. So we are dealing with opposite and what? And hypotenuse. So what do we do? According to SOHCAHTOA, I've told you must understand SOHCAHTOA. Which ones connects opposite and hypotenuse? That's what? Sine, right? So, which is so, that's so. Isn't it? So we say sine theta equals opposite. That's 400 over hypotenuse. That's what? 800. And sine theta is 0.5. Theta will now be sine inverse of 0.5. And that's what? 30 degree. So this angle here is 30 degree. This angle is what? 30 degree. And you know that since here is going to be the west of y, yes, east of y. So from west to south is what? 90 degree. And this is the angle we need. So 90 minus 30, that's what? 60 degree. So what's now the answer? So the bearing now, the bearing. So let me just put it here. Therefore, the bearing of x from y equals 180 plus 60 degree. That's what? 240 degree. That's the answer. Then I still have one more example for us. One more example. One more example. Please be patient with me. I will see. One more example. I'm going to drop another video to expand there more. This is the last example. A man sets out to travel from A to C via B. Full stop. Then from A, he travels a distance of 8 kilometers on a bearing not 30 degrees east to B. Full stop. From B, it travels a further 6 kilometers due east. Question A now, calculate. How far C is north of A? 2. How far C is east of A? Question B. And or otherwise, calculate the distance AC correct to 1 decimal place. So that's the question, right? So how do we handle this? Please follow me. Stay tuned, please. Follow me. A man sets out to travel from A to C via B, meaning he's traveling from A to C, but he wants to travel through B. He will pass through B. Okay? So interpretation first. You must get your interpretation right. So from A, now, he's starting now. From A, he travels a distance of 8 kilometers on a bearing 30 degrees northeast. This your angle is the most important thing. Once you didn't get the direction correctly, you'll be wrong all the way. Okay? So let's start from point A. The man, the traveler, is starting from point A. So here, the center here is point A. Here is north of A. Here is west. Here is east. And here is what? South. So 30 degree northeast, which is 30 degree east of north. Northeast, or you call it what? East of north. I've told you before, alright? So here is going to be 30 degree. This angle. This 30 degree northeast. To what? To point B. So here's point B now, 8 kilometers. Here's point B. So you draw another cardinal point there. So here's B. Okay. Sorry, I didn't draw that well. I don't like drawing just anyhow. Now we are done with this interpretation. Now they say from B. Remember we are going to C now. From A, we are going to C. The end point is C. But you have to pass through B. Yes, B now. From B, it travels a further 6 kilometers due east. So he didn't come back here. He's from here now. He reaches here, then he continues the journey from B and then travels 6 kilometers due east. Now please mind you, your 6 kilometers shouldn't be up to that 8 kilometers. So it should be shorter. I will shorten it now. 6 kilometers. So this point C. So this is where the man is now. So on this line east of B, I will locate point C. Okay. So here is C. So on C again, you can see I'm drawing cardinal points. Here is north. Here is what? East. Here is what? South. And here is what? West of C. Alright? So let's look at the question. Calculate how far C is from figure 1 north of A. How far is C north of A? Now, you remember what I taught you the other time? This C. How far is C north of what? North of A. Now, when they say north of A and C is there, here's what? A. Now, where's the north of A? You know, north of A is up here. Excuse me. North of A is up here of A. So from A, you draw upward this north. Now, as you are drawing, just look at C. You have to look at C also. This C, isn't it? This. You can see that C is to this side. C is not even directly north of what? Of A. But the position where C is, the point where C is, you can say that it is above A, isn't it? So C has traveled above A and also to the right hand side. So C is both to the north of A and to what? To the east. C can be said to be both to the what? To the north of A, upward, and what? To the right of A, which is what? Eastward. But how far is it upward now? That's what they're asking. How far is it north of A? So since C is here, this line here, you can produce it here. So from here upward now, that's how far C has traveled north of what? Of A. You can see here now, this is where it is. So I trace it here. So from here now, from here upward, that's how far north he has traveled. From here, from A. Now, while from here to here, from this point to this point, that's how far C has traveled. Due what? Is it due west, due north, due south? Due east of A. From here to here. But what I'm looking for is what? Is here, from here to here. Should I call it X? Let me call it X. You can also complete here if you want to. You can also complete here, produce here, from point A here, then join C. Draw it southward, downward. So that here, this X from here to here is same as from here to what? To here. X. So you can use any of that. Can you see? Can you see the skid here? Now what it means that we need this line here. This place. So how do we get that? How do we get that? So can we try? Okay. So let's get this distance out. Which triangle are we going to use to get this distance X from here to here? The only distance we know. Okay, sorry. I think I've made a mistake here. From A, it travels to B. 8 what? Kilometer. From here to there. I didn't draw that. Sorry, please sorry for that. A to B is 8 kilometers. Alright? A to B is 8 kilometers. I omitted that. I'm very sorry for that. That was a very serious mistake. So A to B, it travels 8 kilometers. I should have put that since. So okay, so we have our solution already, sir. So we need this distance now from here to here. So look at this. This is a right angled triangle. So here is going to be 90 degrees. This north, this west, this east, and this south of this point. Although we don't know what that point is. Okay? So can we do justice to that? we are looking for here, right? And this angle is adjacent to 30 degree. It's adjacent to 30 degree. This is what? Hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse. From our SOHCAHTOA, what are we using? We are using cos. So cos 30 degree, cos theta, equals adjacent, which is x, over what? Over 8. So what's cos 30? Cos 30 is 0.8660, because x over 8, make x the solid formula, cross multiply, this over 1, cross multiply, x equals to 0.8660 times 8, and x will be equal to 0.8660 times 8, that's 6.928 kilometer. Make sure you use the same unit you have here. Use the same unit you have here. So that's how far this A now. That's how far C is not of A. How far not C is of A. How far C is not of A, okay? Then how far C is east of A. It means, I think I've told you that before, we need from here to what? To here. East of A is this way. From here to here is east of A. And as we are tracing the east, you have to look at C. So C has traveled as far as from here to what? To here. Due what? Due east of A. Okay? So we need here to here. So let's trace it up here. So from here to here is from here to here. You know this, I have a rectangle here now, right? Opposite sides of rectangle are equal. So meaning I need from here to here. So I already know from here to here, which is 6. I need from B to C. I know from B, I know B to C. 6 centimeter, so 6 kilometer. Now I need from here to B. So let me call here. Let me call here Y. If I call this Y, some will get confused. Let me call it M. So I need distance M from here to here. So what do you think M is going to be? So let me use sine. Here is opposite to 30 degree. Sine 30 degree. Opposite over what? Hypotenuse. Equals to opposite M over 8. So 0.5, sine 30 is 0.5. M over 8, and then M will be equal to 0.5 times 8, and that's what? 4 kilometer. But we have to find from here to here. That's how far C is east of what? Of A. So B now. So the distance now is going to be equal to what? 4 plus 6, which is 10 kilometer. So C is 10 kilometer east of what? Of A. Now the last question says, hence or otherwise calculate the distance AC correct to 1 decimal place. Distance AC correct to 1 decimal place. Where is A? Here. Where is C? Here. So this long distance, we have to join the 2 points together to get that distance. So this is AC. Alright? So what do? I think we can use Pythagoras theorem. Since we know what here is, this here rectangle triangle, A, let me call it P. AP what? C. APC. APC. That's a right angle triangle. Here, here, and here. Alright? So, what are we going to do here? Let me clean every other line so that you are going to get the picture clearer. So we know what here is x. And x is what? 6.928 kilometer. So, and what is this point, this line here? From P to C is, what we have here is 10 kilometers. So we need AC. This time now we are using Pythagoras theorem. These are the variables that I gave you. So what is AC? AC now, AC square will now be equal to PC square plus AP square, alright? So which is going to be equal to 10 square plus 6.928 square, that's 100 plus 6.928 square, that's 47.9972. So plus 100, that's 147.9972. That's AC square, AC square, AC square, and then AC will be equal to square root of 147.9972, and that's what? That's 12.165 kilometers. So that's the answer. Okay, that's the answer. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But before that, take home this assignment. Number 1, the bearing of A from B is 325 degrees. The bearing of A from B is 325 degrees, 325 degrees. Find the bearing of B from A. And number 2, the bearing of C from D is 280 degrees. The bearing of C from D is 280 degrees. Find the bearing of D from C. Number 3, a boy walks 3 kilometers due north from a point A, and then 4 kilometers to another point C. Let me repeat. A boy walks 3 kilometers from a point A to a point B, and then 4 kilometers to another point C. Find the distance AC, or find the distance from his present distance from A. Then find his bearing from A. Find his current bearing, his bearing from where? From A. So you can drop your answers in the comment section. Thank you. God bless you.